Hello. Welcome to day 5 of our Re-Inspire group. I hope that you've enjoyed the last 4 days and that it's been informative for you. My job today is to talk with you about putting it all together. So Erin talked on day 1 and 2, Linda's talked on day 3 and 4 and given you guys some very important information as to the details and the way that we can organize our business. And my job today as day 5 is to have you put it all together. Let's put it all together, have it make sense, and make it make sense for you. So the first thing I can tell you is that your style of coaching is all your own. And the way that you coach, the way that you organize, the way that you reach out to people is your own. And you have a system. This system is going to develop over time and it's going to change over time. And I know that the things and the ways that I used to do things back in June are different than the way that I do things now. I've developed ways to communicate with people better. I've learned what things work. I've learned what things don't work. I've also learned that I can expand my horizons a little more, starting to go into the realm of Instagram, whereas I was so much more Facebook focused. So just realize that what we need to do when we feel overwhelmed and exhausted is to keep it basic. It's so easy to be distracted by voices and websites and podcasts and YouTube of all these different coaching things and what should we be doing as a coach, when what you need to do is you need to step back and you need to keep it basic and simple. And a good way to start doing this is to think about what you did when you were a new coach. Put yourself back in those shoes and in that mindset where you knew you were going to have things at you at different directions. How did you deal with that? How did you overcome that to keep going? Because you did, you're still here. So what were those coping mechanisms or ways that you were able to overcome that busyness and that exhaustion from being a new coach and to stay focused? And so I remember doing that. I remember first starting out and being completely overwhelmed. And my coach, Linda, who is so tech savvy, would come at me with all of these websites and ways to store things and to make forms. And even to this day, I'm still in awe of her because of her ability to do this. And I'm still kind of like, whoa, it's getting better, but it's been a process. So I remember the first thing I had to do was get myself organized. And I think everybody has a different way of getting organized, but I think organization is key. Keeping track of who you're contacting, keeping track of who you've invited, keeping track of who you are connecting with, because there's a difference between connecting and inviting, and I'll get into that later. Keeping track of who your customers are, keeping track of what they've ordered, keeping track of your coaches. And you may have challengers that you need to check up on daily, which I do. Challengers that want to be checked on weekly or several times a week. All of these things, you have to develop a system to stay organized. And I actually have a binder or a notebook that has 3 sections in it. And my first section is what I do every day, who I've contacted, who I've invited, who I've connected with, what I posted. The second section of my binder is what current challenge groups are going on right now. Who's in those challenge groups? What program are they doing? Are they struggling? Are they posting? My third section is of my customers, a list of all my customers, when they ordered, what they ordered, their email address, just so I can stay on top of them. All of that information with your customers, you know, is located in your back office. But I like to keep it a hard copy written just so that I can add to it or refer back to it quickly. I find that 99.9% of my business is done on my phone. I'm on my phone constantly. My husband hates it. And I need to work on that. That's my area that I need to improve on. And I freely admit that. But I find that I need to go back to my phone sometimes, and I need to refer back to my book so that I have a copy of all my information in both locations.